So I believe you should have three parts to your wholesale business. So you're not just a wholesaling company or a wholesaling solopreneur. So stay tuned and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Hey, what's up, guys? Graylan Stewart here. Thanks for joining me. I am a virtual wholesaler. We are a wholesale first company. That's our main strategy. But today's video, I'm going to talk about a three-legged stool. Basically, I believe that every wholesaling business or operation should have at least three legs. So what I mean by that is, don't just wholesale, because if you're wholesaling only, where does your freedom come in? Eventually, I mean, that's most people's goals is you want to have, not just time freedom, but financial freedom one day. And if you're only wholesaling, then you probably won't ever reach that unless you build a pretty big organization that runs without you. Okay. So what are the three legs? Obviously, wholesaling real estate is the first one. Okay. That's my main strategy. Like I said, and if you're new to the channel, wholesaling is basically getting a contract at a discount on a property. So you got to find a motivated seller willing to sell their property at a discount, and you're going to sell that contract that you got to a cash buyer, a buyer that wants to do something with the house. They want to fix it up and flip it, or they want to fix it up for a rental. Okay, that's really what wholesaling is in a nutshell. Okay, so that is one leg. But if you're a smart business owner and a smart wholesaler, you want to do the things that you're selling these buyers are doing, okay? Because they're honestly the ones making the most money. So you want to start fixing and flipping a little bit, and you definitely want to start buying and holding properties, okay? I always say, the wholesaling itself is kind of like my cash flow ATM, okay? It's constant, especially when you have a machine going to where you're feeding it leads and you've got people handling those leads. So once those leads start coming in, obviously your team is handling those for you. But that's the beauty of being a wholesaler. You're bringing in your own leads. So we are direct to seller, but you got to be smart like these cash buyers, because they're fixing and flipping the property to where a lot of times they're making tons more money than you are as a wholesaler. But in some instances, the wholesalers make more money. So that's why you can kind of pick and choose which ones you should flip. If it's a gigantic profit, take it down and flip it. If it's worth just wholesaling for a quick 10 or 15,000, then do that. But ultimately, most of us that are in real estate, we get into real estate because we want financial freedom. So really, financial freedom comes with owning real estate, right? Or at least controlling real estate. You don't necessarily have to own it. So what's the difference in owning and controlling? Obviously, when you own the property, you're on the deed and it's your house, whether you have a mortgage with a bank or with a private money lender, hard money lender, or you pay cash. Either way, you own the property because you're on the deed. Or you can control the property that some people do. For example, maybe you're doing some type of rental arbitrage where a house is for rent for $500 a month. Let's just say, for example, that you can actually, if you had that property, you could rent it out for $1,000. So you negotiate with the seller, hey, let me rent this from you for $700, and then you go and rent it for $1,000. So you're making a $300 cash flow. So that's what I mean by controlling. So whether you own or control property, that's really where you end up getting financial freedom. It's from that monthly residual forever mailbox money. Okay, well, however you want to say that. But that's really what it is. And that's also your path to building wealth, because especially if you own it, not necessarily controlling it, but if you own real estate, I believe in owning it, just because it's yours, you can do what you want. But the beauty of it is you get a ton of tax benefits, like depreciation. You get to depreciate that on your taxes for 27 and a half years. And not only that, somebody else is paying your mortgage down. So every month your net worth technically goes up just a little bit, because as the seller, or as your renter rather, pays that down, your property values not only increase, but the mortgage gets paid off even more. So your net worth goes up every single day, technically, okay? But also, as you know, the longer you hold real estate, it's definitely going to go up over time. Okay, obviously the market goes up and down, but if you ever looked at any past market cycles, they always go up and down, but it always goes up and down at an upward trend. Okay, so what I'm saying is, you hold it long enough, it's always going to go up. In the long run, even if it dips a little bit initially. That's why you want to keep it forever, right? Because that's truly the your path to wealth. So you're gaining net worth every day. You're getting cash flow every month. Eventually, that gets paid off in full, which means your cash flow goes up even more, or you can leverage that property even more. So what do I mean by that? So let's just say you have a $100,000 house, and after 15 years, let's just say, for example, it gets paid off by your tenants. Okay, so now you've got a $100,000 asset that is free and clear. Now, I like free and clear properties. I have a bunch of them, but a lot of people believe in leveraging those properties. So what you could do is get a loan on that property. Most banks will loan 80% of the retail value. So if it's worth $100,000, for example, a bank will most likely give you $80,000 for a mortgage on that house, because the bank is in the business of making money. They don't make money unless they lend money out. Okay, so they would gladly give you $80,000 as a mortgage on that property, and then you have $80,000. Now, keep this in mind: that $80,000 could probably buy you, 5 to 10 more houses, depending on where you're at. But let's just say they're $100,000 houses, just to keep math easy. And let's say the bank, wants 80, they'll give you 80%. So you need 20% down. So $100,000 house, you need $20,000 per house. So in that particular example, that $80,000 could leverage you into 4 more properties that you could actually purchase. So, your money works for you even more in that scenario. So anyways, 3-legged stool is kind of what I do my business model around, to where we actually wholesale. We will do some fix and flips, and we will do some rentals. Okay, now obviously there's some retail in there to where we do different strategies, but ultimately flipping is the same thing. Okay, to me, if I close on a property and we resell it, it's technically a flip. Whether you do a novation, creative finance, seller finance, whatever it is, if you own it for a little bit of time and you eventually sell it within the 12-month period, technically that's a flip, even a hotel. So I believe every wholesaler, even if you can't do it starting out, obviously wholesaling is the easiest way to get started in real estate. So definitely build up some cash first, but quickly transition into doing more with that. Okay, wholesaling is just the beginning. Obviously, keep that cash cow coming in, that ATM as I call it. I'll never stop that, but use that money to help you buy assets. Use that money to help you fund some of your flips and things like that. So definitely keep that in mind when you get into wholesaling if you're brand new. And some people, if you've been in it a while, start leveraging that to where you can do more with it. So therefore, you can actually grow your wealth quicker. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. So 3-legged stool, guys. That's kind of my philosophy in my real estate business right now. So that's kind of what I suggest. So anyways, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you found value in that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you think it's terrible, give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that as well. But nevertheless, you stuck around this long, so hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Hit it, and it would help me out. And it also suggests this video to other people, so I greatly appreciate that. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.